Yesterday we spoke briefly about the halacha making on Shabbos on top of the cake a cream from the can, or using a soap that it's in the bottle, it's liquid, but when you press on it, it comes out the foam. So the Chayre was said it's osur mitzad noilad. Came something brand new was born on Shabbos or Yom Tov, and the Chayre noilad is osur, and that's why that would be osur, because it was a liquid and you created a foam. So the Chayre, the shaila was, where is the makor that noilad is osur? It's not one of the lamates malachas noilad, and so who said if something noilad is osur? So originally I thought at the beginning of Maseches Beya, the Gemara trying to say even the man Omar that doesn't hold from Muktzah of Shimon. So who said the Gemara says maybe he's holding noilad osur because it's a bigger form of Muktzah. Regular Muktzah you could say wherever I have a use for it, I'm not putting it aside. So there is a potential kavana to you prepare this to use it. That's according to Rav Shimon. But noilad wasn't even here to think about it. But then Lamaisa, this is not the makor because Lalacha, that opinion was rejected. Man the Islay, Muksa Islay, man the Leisla Muksa Leisla Noilad. There's no Muksa, there's no Noilad. And then also only Legaba Muksa. What Shaykh Muksa over here? It was here. The liquid was here inside the can, whether it's for the cream of the cake or for the soap. So it's not Shaykh. The halacha of that Noilad over there is not Shaykh. So the makor for it, it's Maseches Beya Daf Chof Gimel Amud Aleph. The Gemara says like this: Rabbe v'Rav Yosef D'Amar Tarvayu Sechufei Kasa Ashiroi b'Yom Tova Osur. So Rashi explains: Tzchufei Kasa Lichlis Kois Mevusam Al Shirayim Shel Malbush. So like this, Shirayim. There's two ways to learn. We're going to see Nafkamina LaHalacha. According to some, it's talk about Bechlal generally garments, clothing, and some saying no. It talks about specifically about the Shirayim of silk, not regular garments. Right now we're going to put it as a garment. Tzchufei Kasa Ashiroi, putting a cup. Lichves kois mevusam ala shiraim shel malbush lachnis beim reach haboisam shabakois. You have a cup, a jar with smell. You want to put connect it to the garment somehow from the top, from the bottom. It doesn't make a difference now, but the smell of the cup, of the jar, should go into the garment. Today would be a simpler. Those days they contain the smell in a jar. Today you have sprays. So let's say you want to spray your garment on Shabbos, what would be the Isur? It's a Rabbi Rav Yosef D'Amar Tarvayu. On Yom Tov it's also a Kal V'chomer of Shabbos. My time Mishum the Kamoilid Reicha, because you brought a new thing to the world. Oiloda, something new was born Reicha. So Rashi says, Shenichnas Becheres, the new smell came to the Cheres now, to that Kli. Shalaya Bereach. The smell was not there. The Osur Midrabanan. There's not Isur the Reis and Noilad B'Shabbos Yom Tov doesn't exist. That's also Midrabanan. Why? Why did they ask that? So Rashi explained, Shamoyle Dovar Chodosh, bringing up a new Hoylodaf, something new. Koravu Lo'isem Melacha Chadosha. It looks like you're doing Melacha Chadosha. Probably Chazal had a Gezeire. If you're going to do this Hoylodah, you might do another Melacha that's Asura, or it looks like a Melacha. Whatever it is, the Gezeire is Chazal, it's Midraban. So according to this, that's the Makor. So that's of this Inyan of Noilad Osur, which is poskim uses, we're going to see in many, many places. Now, it's brought Halacha L'maisa in Hilchas Yom Tov. It's brought like this in Tov Kuf Yud Aleph, the end of Tov Kuf Yud Aleph, Hilchas Yom Tov. It says the Rama says like this: V'osur lischov. He quotes this Gemara. Kois mebusam ala begodim. Again, you cannot like force it or the smell to the garments or connecting to that cup would smell that should give smell to the garment. And according to the Ramah and many Rishonim, begodim shirah means generally begodim, not silk. We're going to see nafkamina now. Any begodim. Why? Mishum demoiled boim reicha. So you take the Gemara lahalacha the Ramah. You moiled reiach. It's also okay. So far, according to this, would be according to this Gemara and this Ramah, like Ramah follow many Rishonim over here. So to take a bottle of liquid soap and press on it, there's a special spring over there, converts it to foam. The foam was not here. You just created the foam. That would be also something like you're creating a new smell that wasn't over here. However, you might say there is you could argue there is a heter for it. If that's the problem, why? Because the Taz brings the Marshal. He says the Chosav Rashal, the Temeli. He questions this psak of the Gemara of the Ramah. He goes on this Rishonim where the Ramah follows. Why? To make bedavka, to make the smell. The Marshal and many others learned of Pshat Shiro. It's not just general word for garments, but dafka garments made out of silk, certain garment that over there you wanted, that smell. The silk garment was the derech. There was the derech, the way you wear a silk garment. It's a very fancy garment. They used to put a special smell to it. It should smell choshev. The end, if you don't have a kavana to create a new smell over here, near the shara, you should be allowed. The shayach can learn psik ratio, even though there's a cloud, whatever you don't if you don't have in mind to do it, but that psik ratio for sure going to happen. It's also it says that only ela b'melacha mamash. That's mamash melacha. That's also mitzad melacha. The rice, the rabbanon, whatever it's melacha. Then it's also psik ratio. Avala gimur gufay. That smell that comes out of the cup, or today would be coming out of a spray bottle, ela melacha. So it's a sin that's not melacha. So ela kiboy ba'avora, the shaykh by Yom Tov over there, kiboy ba'avora, but the smell itself doesn't have anything to do with malacha. Let's say you capture the smell into the cup before there's not shaykh. There already no havora, no kiboy, even on Yom Tov, it's always over. Especially on Yom Tov, kiboy ba'avora, l'tzorich, it's mutar. Okay, the Mogen Avram go through more elaborates on it. So okay, so Taz says with the word of Nechonim, Taz maskim. According to him would be according to the Taz, the way maskim with the Marshal. So since you don't have a kavanah over here to put a smell, you happen to have you put the cup next to some baguette. You don't care for the most begodim to have the smell. The kavanah of the smell is only by shira, by silk. That would be according to them. I don't have a kavanah to make a foam. All I need is I don't care if it's a foam or it's liquid. I need to wash my hands. I do. So since there's no kavanah to make the foam, you could argue according to Taz the Marshal, it would be mutar. However, it's nisha poshut. Why? Because many achronim, including the Mogen Avram, argue with this Marshal. In Hilchas Lulav and Esrog, in Tov Reish Nun Ches, Nun Zayin, I'm sorry. That halacha repeats itself. The Maramos says like this. We also talked about Lulav b'Shabbos, David Kevin, since we don't use the Lulav and Esrog and Shabbos like a stone, it's muktzeh, you're not allowed to move it on Shabbos of Chol HaMoed or Yom Tov, yeah? He said, but they said that's the Ramah. Esrog mutar betilted. From all the Arba Minim, the Esrog you're allowed to metaltel. And Shabbos, Chol HaMoed, the Shabbos Yom Tov, you're allowed to. Why? The Roy Lariach boy. You could smell the Esrog. He says, however, the Ramah, he goes Lashito say in Tovkov Yud Aleph, V'osur litna ala beged afilu b'Yom Tov. You cannot put it on some garment. The Moilid Reicha. It creates a new smell in the garment. There'll be oilod. There's something that's also mitzad noilod. Okay, all this is the Rabban, but that's also the Mogen Avram. He brings Yam Shel Shlem. That's the Marshal. He quoted shit that would be mutar, that he would disagree with the Ramah. However, he brings many rayas. I'm not going to go into it. Just the makatzer now. That's also, even though you're not mechaven, even it's not the real malacha, like the argument of the Marshal was, if it's not the real malacha, even at psikresha, if you don't mean to do it, it's mutar. Mogen brings a raya, even it's not the malacha, it's still osur. Because on Yom Tov he says the whole mavir it's mutar l'tzoyrech, and it's still osur. Mashma, even though it's not malacha, it's osur. So according to the many achronim that side with the Mogen Avram, so it would be l'choyre, comes out as a machloikes Marshal Mogen Avram. That foam that you create from that bottle for the soap only. Buy the cream for the cake. It's definitely also you want the cream. You want the cream. That's why you're doing it. That's everybody with mask. It's moily. Buy the soap. You might argue according to Marshal. You could say it's mutter. I don't mean to make the soap. The cream. I need this. I need the liquid was there. I'm okay with the liquid also. It came out the cream. I don't care for it. So it's not any malacha over here. So mainly you could say it's mutter. However, it's nish as a poshut because it's like this. The Alter Rebbe, it's interesting. In Hilchas Yom Tov, he's more siding with the Marshal. He when he brings the halacha in Tovkov Yud Aleph, halacha Zayin says like this: mutar laniach mina b'samim ala beged. The Rama says ala beged osur. Marshal the one says it's mutar. He says mutar. If you're not doing it to make a smell, you put it next to your garment and it made a smell, even though you know for sure you make a. Since I don't care for it, mutar. Then he could be ma'arich that the main shita is the Marshal. He brings many Rishonim kamoisai. So according to this, again, according to the Marshal, especially the way the Alter Rebbe paskin like I said, many don't paskin like the Marshal. They follow the Mogen Avram and the Ramah. So the Choyre looks like so that will be machloikas between again Marshal Taz and anybody that follows this shita that would be mutar to use that. Foam soap on Shabbos, it becomes foam on Shabbos, yeah. And according to Mogen Avram, the Ramah, that would be also. However, there's a big, even according to the Alter Rebbe, it looks like there is a contradiction to it. Because in Shin Chof Aleph, Halacha Zayin, the Alter Rebbe says this. Then lots of people in Tech Beged, V'yichtosh B'sakin, Olam B'nei Shmoli Drech B'Beged. Talks about it there on Shabbos. If you forgot to prepare. Today we have everything, all salt and pepper already crushed, but you forgot the olden days. You forgot to crush them before Shabbos. B'shinu, you could do it. It talks about the shinui. You could do a big shinui on Shabbos. You could do it. So he says, however, if even you do all the shinui, but if an amutar, again, somebody will see exactly how learn the halacha over there. He said, however, he says, but don't do the ktisha, don't grind the salt and the pepper, even b'shinui inside a garment. He says, mipnei shemoili d'reach b'beged. The Alter Rebbe was the one to say, only in shiroim, like a marshal, only in silk you're not allowed. A regular beged, you don't care for the smell, especially over here, you care to crush the salt. You don't care for the smell. What's happened to do is going to do a smell. So tak in the footnote, they said tzorichiyun. Again, tzorichiyun is because over there, Alter Rebbe paskin, if you're not mechavan like the marshal, it's mutter. Over here it says not good. So the Emma says, I have a portion of the teretz, and according to this, it will be also l'kula alma. The teretz is like this. On the Yom Tov, there is a heter. You use the heter. Why the tzorich? You need the Yom Tov, the matir, many things, the tzorich of the shlulitzach. You especially over there, if you do something, it's you're doing it for the food, and it went on the baguette. So there is a tzorich, some kind of tzorich for Yom Tov. On Shabbos over here, it's not tzorich Shabbos to make a smell in the baguette. So the Lord says, you should be machmir. He's not completely ignores the shit of the Ramah and the Mogen Avraham. Yom Tov, there is a little tzorich over here, you do, but when there's no tzorich for it, so you don't do it. And that's why it's interesting that many poskim that on Yom Tov, when the Kohanim do Birkas Kohanim, it says they go wash their head before Birkas Kohanim. It says not to put anything smell in the water because the Kohanim mean they have kavanah to have that smell on their hands and to smell the dreich. And on Yom Tov, you should not do it, even though some still matter this. But Lamaisa, according to this, on Shabbos to use this foam. Again, on the cake, the kulam would be also you have kavanah to make the foam. It's moilit. That's also with rabbanon, but it's also and the gabe that bottle of soap that creates a foam. The choira will be also the kulam. I didn't go down to Rebbe. The heter of the teres was by Yom Tov. There is some kind of tzorich when we do it on the food. It goes on the garment. You make the smell for some tzorich. Over here, that's completely on Shabbos. Would it get another soap? So the best thing is to open that bottle. If you have nothing else, you need the soap and pour on your hands rather than create the foam. I don't see big tzorich on it, and especially many machmir like the Ramah, the Mogen Avraham, many bachza shekel, the follow the shit of the Ramah. So the halacha l'maisa, it's better not to use this foam soap on Shabbos v'Yom Tov. Yeah, I feel Yom Tov because, like I said, it's not such a big tzorich for it, and especially the foam they use from the can for the cake. Definitely, it should be also midrabban because it's moilit. Noilet is also.